Hello. Tonight I have a couple of kits I want to share. These may have some coming out in the dAFi December auction, but they were also sent out to the artists. I know there's some of these left, the single domino pendant. I couldn't find one, so we're going to kind of improvise what's in the kit, okay? So this one here, it comes with 2 dominoes, a hinge that really works, and a tiny baby super glue. This is the cutest thing ever. Okay, basically all you need to do with this one is you want your clasp or your hinge, you want the curved part, the round part that moves, stuck out on the outside, just like this one. See how that's stuck out there a little bit? Okay, so in this kit, that's all that comes is these 2 and the glue. Well, these 3 actually. And I figured you could use whatever papers you want, however you want to decorate it. If you want to color it with alcohol ink, it's totally your call how you want to decorate it. This one, let me just kind of explain what I did on this one. This was an image that I just had. You have to kind of hunt for a small one. And I just used matte medium on it and inked the edges. And that's all I did. I didn't do anything to the back. You can do something to the sides. If you've got alcohol ink or alcohol markers, those will color it also. You could paint it, but it probably will chip because it's just like painting plastic. So after I've glued the hinge in, I covered each side of these with a piece of book page. And then I just took a piece of tea-dyed paper and folded it accordion style, measured to make sure it would fit in there. Some of the dominoes that you get are bigger than the one I have, and there may even be some big ones. So I don't exactly have a measurement, just measure it. Like this one, the domino is 1 3/4 by 3/4. And I'm sure that these pages, let's get a ruler and do it instead of, the pages are about 1 1/2 by a little over 1/2, but not quite 3/4. So you want to kind of, make it a little bit smaller and then just accordion fold it. You can put in as many pages as you want. This book closes real nice. And I just have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages in it. And all I did was fold it accordion style, glued on these sides. If you want this to be accordion and you can pull it out and it'll move, you don't have to do anything else. If you want them to where they make and form pages, after you've made all of your folds, let's just find a piece of paper real quick and I will show you what I'm talking about. This will make it a little bit easier to understand, I'm sure. We'll keep it small. It might be taller than the domino, but so we know we want to go about 1/2 inch. And on this domino, 1/2 inch is way too small, as you can see. This is almost 1 inch. So you could use a scoring board if you have one. If you don't have one, that's okay. Just take a pencil and your ruler and mark. Let's go with 3/4 of an inch. Just to give us a number, and use this as a starting spot. And that's going to be our first fold. Now, if you're using a scoreboard or something like that, you can score it and you can fold it. I tend to, when I use a scoreboard, all I do is just butt my paper up to the edge and then fold it because it's easier that way than doing the scoring. So you're just going to bring it down, take your time, and it will stay straight because we're not doing a great big accordion here. Sometimes accordions get all wonky, or at least they do for me. But this way, it's just, if you take your time and do it slow, it usually works pretty good. So how you decorate this is totally up to you. If you want to, do the vintage, and this is just a piece of a scratch pad I have, okay? So what you could do is go ahead and lay it out and just decorate the whole thing and then fold it up. Just decorate one side if you're going to glue them. If you're not going to glue them and you want to do the other side, you can. I would not, because we're putting a hinge and you're really not going to be able to see back there, but you can. It's totally what you want to do. So when you get ready to do this, you will just, this side will get glued to the domino. Glue these together and glue these together. And this one, because of the length, if this was a little bit longer, I would say glue these and then have the next flap. But because we don't have the next flap, we're gonna pretend this is a short book. And I actually made enough kits that I am out of dominoes. So I'm not going to use these dominoes. I'm not going to glue it so that I can continue making kits with the 6 dominoes that I got left and have kits to sell too. So you have this, you would glue these 2 pages and these 2 pages. So then you have basically 2 pages here. This is glued down and this is glued down to the dominoes just like this. And what I did is I took total scraps and just put a little piece or 2 on there, did some scribbling, and that's all I did. I didn't even put more than one thing on. I didn't put any paint on. I could go find little tiny, since it's got flowers, maybe little tiny flowers and glue a couple little flowers on there. It's just a fun book. Now, because it's kind of plain, you could easily write your secrets in here. You could come in here and write down your dream, your secrets, whatever it is. And it's a tiny little book, and for the most part, nobody's going to pick it up and read it, so it's pretty safe. So let's get back to making the book. Your call. Do you want your domino holes on the inside or the outside? You could do them on the outside and leave them and not even decorate. I think that would be really cute. So we would take the hinge. I'm going to do these on the outside just for show. We're going to glue this in. And because I want you to get an idea of what I'm talking about, and I don't want to super glue this down right now because I want to have the dominoes for a kit, I'm going to just tape it. Hopefully. Maybe this will work and maybe it won't. So what you want to do is you want to glue this down. So we've got all of our glue on there. And if you want to clamp it, clamp it. If you want to just hold it, hold it. Or you can set it down like this and use a pencil or pokey tool or something and just put a little bit of pressure. Super glue is going to catch pretty fast. And then you let it dry and set. Now, when I did it, I took either a piece of plastic, piece of cardboard, piece of paper, something. And I'm going to use plastic because it's, well, no, let's use a sticky note because it's right here and it will stay in place. So I would put a piece of paper here and make sure it's covering this whole thing. And then I open this up and put my glue on it. And which domino? Okay. And line up my domino so they're even, and then push it down and hold it. You may have a little bit of paper or plastic stick to the super glue, but it's okay because once we've got them it glued on, so we'll do our pretend glue here. I hope you all have a good enough imagination to follow my pretend. The reason I close it is because, and do one side at a time, it keeps it from getting stuck together, and it also gives you enough room to open and close, because if you put it too close, it's not going to really open and close. So we've got our pretend glue on here. Okay, so we're glued down on both sides. Now just cut something and cover this, and then determine whether or not you're fusing your pages, gluing your pages together. And decorate them, and then glue this one to this one. And voila! You have a domino book. What can you do with it? You can set it on your shelf. You can tie a little ribbon around it. You carry it in your purse if you got, you just want to have a favorite quote or a favorite poem that gives you inspiration and makes you feel happy. Write it in there, and then you can carry it with you everywhere you go, and it's nice and small. So that is the domino kit for the book. Okay, the other one, which I cannot find, and I apologize for that, is a plain domino, just like this one. There's some that are in the black wood, and then there's some in the plastic. My goal was to use up my dominoes. Now, if you got a single domino, it should have an eye screw in it. I took the time to drill them, and I put the eye screws in most of them. If you don't have an eye screw, I apologize, but they should be in there. I double checked them. Now, it's a kind of a tight fit here, and I can't get it screwed down, but I wanted you to see how I put it together. And I know there's a pair of pliers in here because I just had them. So let's just step right over here to the other toolbox. Wow, this could be strange. My jewelry pliers are all in the wrong places. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to use side cutters, but we're just not going to squeeze tight. We're going to squeeze the domino. We're just going to hold it. We're going to turn the domino. Now, if you are putting these in your own dominoes, use the heaviest weight you can find without it looking obnoxious and ugly and big, because I snapped off I don't know how many of them. And it does kind of make me nervous when it gets down so far and it's really tight. So in this kit, I believe there's some little wooden beads. There's a piece of black cord, and there's some different papers to choose from to decorate. All of the papers that we are using in this were designed by Misty, one of dAFi's digital partners, and it's Mac Jewelry 2012 on Etsy. She has amazing stuff, but she made us some great little images for dominoes. So they're all kind of a little bit bigger than, not all the dominoes are the same size, so it might be kind of bigger than your domino. So just kind of move it around until you get what you like. This was a big image, and I just took the part I liked. So all you have to do this is I just put it on with matte medium and put some matte medium over the top of it to help it be wearable if I want to wear it. It could also be great hanging on a charm, on the side of a journal. It can be whatever you want it to be. But it would also be really cool to take and put your string on here and wear it just like this. I think that's cool, especially these, because there were 5 dominoes that I didn't know until I had already drilled the third one, that I'm 90% sure they were Bakelite, because the stench didn't leave the house for 3 days. They're not going to smell when you get them, because to get the Bakelite smell out, you got to get them really, really, really warm, and then it kind of gives that formaldehyde smell out. It's kind of weird. But, and I could be wrong. Maybe they were just a really old plastic. But I would bet money they were that. So anyway, in itself, it's a cool pendant. It could be easily used at the end of a bookmark. It could be used as a charm hanging on. You know, of course, you can't put it inside of your book unless you cut a cubby hole for it. That would be cool. But what if you took and hung some little dangles of beads off of here and then put your cord on it? That's a whole nother look. And so we can kind of envision it this way. And we could just hang all kinds of little charms and things off of it. So there's a lot of different things you can do with that domino. And I think you will have a good time. Like I said, there's several images to choose from. But as always, you can take the contents of the kit and you can do with it what you please. You can make it how you want to make it. Because that's what makes each of us individual, is to have the supplies and turn it into what makes us happy. That's one of my favorite parts of making kits, is that each of us are individuals and each of us can do the art we want to do with exactly the same supplies. And we could have 5, 6 different projects with one set of supplies. With that being said, you all have a great evening. I will catch you on the next video. There's several more to come. Thanks, and have a great evening.